It's now my pleasure to introduce State Member for Chatsworth, Steve Kilburn, to say a few words.
Thanks, Steve, and it's absolutely fantastic to be here today. First of all, can I acknowledge Ross Bassett, the Federal Member for Bonner, my parliamentary colleague Di Farmer, and I'll talk a bit more of the part Di played in this as well. As much as us politicians like to take all the credit, I'll be sharing some of it today. Councillor Shane Sutton from the Morningside Ward, and John Campbell from the Doughboy Ward, and as Steve just mentioned, Ray Smith, the mayoral candidate for the City of Brisbane in the upcoming council elections. And I think one of the things that we've got here in this room, you can see all of us here, whilst I'm the one up here opening it, the fact is that all of us work very well together in this area. We have a really good cooperative spirit amongst us on this side of town, and we are always working together, acknowledging that things like this don't just cater to boundaries that are drawn on a map by the Electoral Commission. They cover the whole area, and there's people here from all over, from John's area, from Di's area, and some from Ross's area as well. So it's important that we build these sorts of structures. But I'll just talk a little bit about my version of the story. Mel and Georgie obviously came and we organised a meeting with myself and Di. It was actually at Di's office down at Morningside where we had the meeting, and we had a long meeting and recognised the need for this. And I remember after Georgie and Mel left, we were saying we really need to get this. We're going to have to just work out where we get the money from to build this shed, because it's so important. It's important. I remember thinking, these guys need a shed, but more importantly, Margaret needs her house back. No woman should have to have 15 men under her house using power tools more than one weekend a year. It's simply not fair. So it's good. I'm sure that you're very happy as well, Margaret. And I was doing a fundraising barbecue with my wife Natalie the other day for the Mens Shed up at the Stanley Road shops, and it was quite surprising how many women come along and just donated money and said, whatever they need to get them out of the house, here's $10. So we actually got more donations just from women just handing the cash over. So obviously they see the need for a Mens Shed as well. But I'd also like to acknowledge Steve, because the great work that Steve does here. Not only he manages the Clem Jones Centre, but this entire complex that we have here. And I go on about this. I've made numerous speeches about it. There's one of them. But I talk a lot about the value of this, what we have here for this community. Not only the close community, but the extended community. What we have here at the Clem Jones Centre with all these groups, and you can hear the kids, you can see them out there playing cricket, they're swimming, they're playing basketball, is a community place where people can come and meet and build connections, and that's what this is all about. And I think there was nothing better, no better place to have this Mens Shed than on this site, with all these other groups, with all these other organisations, where you can build those connections, not only with the other people in the Mens Shed, but all the other groups and organisations that are around here, and a bit of mutual learning with each other, and that it is a great thing. So we are very lucky to have here, and I know the work that Steve does. He works very hard to help any community groups that we have in this organisation, and of course the Carina Leagues Club puts a massive amount of resources and money supporting clubs and groups in our community that make this place, I believe, the best place to live anywhere in Queensland. And this has a lot to do with the sort of thing that goes on in this area. I know that I spoke to a politician, I won't say his name, but he's currently the Treasurer of Queensland. And I remember there's some tough times you have in politics, there's some days that are tough. And when you're the Treasurer or the Premier, you have some tough days. And I remember saying to him one day, what's it like, having to juggle all the things that you deal with? He's a father, he's got a young family, he's a Treasurer. And he said, some days it's like banging your head against a brick wall. You get up and you run into the brick wall. And I said to him, what makes you keep doing it? He says, because occasionally a brick comes loose and falls out, and you can see through the other side. I think this shed, for me, is a brick falling out of the wall. I think it's a great thing. I think it's going to make this community better. I can really see the value, and I can't wait till the day that we're down here harassing Steve and harassing John and Di and Shane and Ross and Kevin Rudd saying, we need another shed. This one's just not big enough. So I'm looking forward to that day, and I know that day is going to happen because I can see already. Each time I come in this place, even if it's only a week I come back, more things are going on, it's looking better, and I can see the improvement. So well done to everyone, particularly George and Mel, and I know that Steve, when Steve said you come and annoyed him and you come and annoyed me, that's a term, but what you were doing, you were advocating for something that you believed in absolutely passionately. And that's something you should be very proud of, because this is here because you did that. So well done, congratulations to everyone. It's going to be a great thing for this community, and I'm very proud to be a part of it, and I'm sure Di Farmer and my other parliamentary colleagues are as well. And I know, as was mentioned, the council, through John, has put some money in, and the council has put in some money to get those resources, get the tools, and you can start knocking out some pretty good stuff out of this shed, I'm sure. So, with all that, I'd like to say well done, and declare, while we're at it, before we're at it, the sausages that we had raised $307, so I'd like to present you with that cheque. Mal, if you want to come up. As you can see, I don't have the big fancy cheque, so we're going to have to do this one. The difference is this is the real one. The bank actually takes it.